Okay, so important thing is that you have the right animation packs for this. The most important ones are going to be obviously the idle, the fall, the run, and the jump. Most importantly, make sure you're using this idle or a similar idle that is completely still. It'll help a lot with this. Yeah, here are my animations in case you want to see them. And I also use this avatar for better hitboxes. And of course, I have my scaling all the way down too. Well, if you're coming here from the hyper video, this is probably going to be a very pleasant surprise, because this is actually easy, really easy. It's annoying, but it's easy. So you start out with this kind of blind platforming. There's a platform here, and you're going to do these like backwards jumps while listening to the Halo theme. And this whole segment is like much easier than it looks. The only way you could possibly die here is if you really can't see where you're going. Unlike every other fight, I should also mention, shift is an option here. And it's gonna make a huge difference. So if you can't use shift, there's gonna be a very, very large difficulty spike. Well, that's that. Volume warning. Big volume warning. Alright. Okay, so like I said, if you're playing on PC, good for you. If you're not, this is gonna hurt a lot. You start off, it's a simple pattern. You can even... Oh, I didn't do that right. But you can even, at the last moment, jump. If you're lazy and just want to go through quickly. Just hug aside here and just jump at the end, and you should be fine. And if you're fast enough here, you go straight to the middle. If you don't want to do that, there's lots of other places to stand. I just do that because it's faster. So you're going to want to stand between these. Don't try to adjust yourself too much there. There's more room than it looks. I probably should explain this part. So you're gonna want to wait every, how many is that? I say 4 tiles. You're probably gonna run into another blast, but it's gonna stop. And you're gonna need to jump over these. Now don't worry too much about actually being between the arms. Yes, it helps a little bit, but it's not gonna make that big of a difference. Just take it slow and get the timing of this jump down. It's not the easiest jump, but it's not so bad. Just remember that this all one-shots you, so you will have to probably perfect that jump. Also, sometimes you can land on the blasts, which can kind of kill you. You won't kill, the blast itself doesn't kill you, you'll get stuck. So for this part, stay in the middle and wait until it kind of lines up in a way that makes you feel comfortable. Run forward, lots of time. And make sure you don't run too far forward or else you get hit by that blast. So this is the part you really need shift for. You can technically do it without shift, but it's really painful. You're gonna wanna hug this and slowly make your way to the right or the left. I prefer the right. I think the right's easier because you can see the blast better. In fact, if you go left, you might get stuck on the blaster itself. So you're gonna wanna wait. I'm going to be extra cautious here, but basically, this is really the entire fight. He's trying to get through this part, and it's definitely annoying. Now, I don't know if you recall, but I've definitely mentioned animation packs and models, and this is the fight where it really applies. Even the idle animation. I have died to idle animations before in this. It's a huge issue. So this is a hard one because you have less time to make it, because you're in the middle now. Just try to stay calm, and there's not much advice I can really give here. This is just a hard segment. And if you're not on computer, you're going to have a really rough time on it. However, pretty much everything after this is like a free win. So just take it slow. Make sure you know that you're centered. Don't go too far right. You can actually get stuck on this sometimes if you go really far right. And it'll kind of mess up your camera angle. If you're having trouble figuring what the center is, just try to, like, line yourself up. If you have a logo in the middle of your monitor, maybe try to line that up yourself. Most monitors usually do have a logo in the middle. Okay, so here now. The alternatives to what I'm doing here is just first person. And I don't think I need to explain to you why that would be absolutely horrendous. But you're good. You've pretty much just won. Alright, so don't be an idiot here. These arms can't hit you, so don't even worry about them. You want to look to the left and try to figure out what tile you can stand on, and I can clearly see what tile you can stand on. It's this between here, the in-between right here. So it looks like the next safe spot is this in-between. So now I can just make my way to it. And the final safe spot will be, just run forward, I guess. So yeah, this part looks confusing, but it's not. You want to just go in, and you have lots of time to make that. As long as you don't go really late, you should be fine. And if you're really ballsy about it, you can actually jump over right as it's pulling away, but I wouldn't risk it. Kind of like that. Now you're going to notice it gets tighter here. So just be slow, and remember, if it's near you, if the middle of the slider is near you, don't move because your legs could nip it. Okay. So yeah. So that's phase 1, but phase 2 is like pretty much identical to phase 1. Like really identical. It's just phase 1 but dark. But yeah. I will definitely be mentioning what animations you should have and what models you should have, because it's extremely important. Okay, so you'll notice a few differences, but overall this is the exact same fight as what you just did. It's darker, and there's a few random things flying around, so you won't be able to go through the middle this time, which, I mean, the middle is actually the harder route. I just did it because it's faster. But it's pretty self-explanatory where to stand. Just look at where things are located. Exact same as before. Again, try not to adjust yourself. I know I did there, but try not to adjust yourself too much. Now, since that's there, you'll actually have to take the right this time. But, same thing. I guess it's a little bit harder because you can't see the things before they come. But you can pretty much kind of see them, actually. Ignore what I said about the 4-tile thing. That's actually wrong. Just stop after the blast and just watch where the next one fires. Is probably the right way to do this. There's a spot right here. I don't know why, but it's there. It's generous. Alright, so you get here, and you don't want to go in there, really, because you have to jump over it twice, and it's a cramped area. You can't go over there because of that blast. What you want to do here is, when this hits the column, you want to tightly time your jump, so you jump over it like, while it turns around. It's difficult to do, though, because this kind of blocks your vision a bit. So you'll need good timing. But just like that, I'll admit it's a hard attack. But, you know. So for this part, I remember that you gotta jump between one of these. I don't remember which one it was. Might be this one. It's a tight gap, too. But it's not so. It's actually not nearly as tight as it might look. So, maze again. And just like before, if you get past the maze, you've pretty much won. Maze is definitely the most stressful part of this. Ooh, I might want to go forward a little bit even. It'll take a lot of very, like, small and precise movements. And again, if you don't have shift, I mean, I've seen people beat it without it, but it's a pain. It's a huge pain to use it per person. So, just like before, just gotta carefully line it up. This transition is definitely the most stressful part, especially this one, because you can't even see it in front of that leg. One leg forward more before I can start going to the right. So yeah, don't move when it's near you, because the walk animation could make you hit it. Just take it very slowly. Let's see. I'm gonna need to stand on that leg. So that's 3 legs from here. This one. And that is dangerously close, I'll admit. So I'm gonna back up a tiny bit. Again, adjusting yourself is very dangerous, but it could be useful here. If you're in a really tight spot, I would make a very careful effort to try to adjust yourself a little bit. But otherwise, probably leave it alone. If you're not perfectly lined up, that's okay. You don't want to die. So I'm centered with this, and then go. And then go all the way. So we've made it out of that. So this is like pretty much the exact same thing. Just take it slow. And I don't have to, but I'm even gonna wait for it to sync up. Kind of. Remember, you want to go right here, like in between these 2 tiles, which is about where the column starts. And I think you go on the next in between. And then you just go all the way. So this part it's the same thing, but a little bit tighter. But it's not hard. You have this little bit here. So if you really gotta move in a tight spot, what you can do is you can tap the key, and it'll like only start to do the walk animation, and it might make you a little bit slimmer. But you only have to do this in like really tight spots. Gonna run up. It's getting much tighter, as you can see. So definitely don't walk when the middle slider is near you. And make sure that tip doesn't hit you since it kind of blends in. This time you're not going to go forward, you're going to immediately walk to the right on this one. And then this last one is the hardest part. Because as you can see, you can't actually fit there, so you want to hug the wall close to you. But you could already see how this gets tough. You can fit here. If you're using the hitboxes I'm using, I promise you can fit here. It's just a very tight gap. Do not try to rush it. Whatever you do not try to run like while it's back. It's possible, but there's no reason to. As long as you're really careful, you should be able to fit between that gap just fine. And that's it. It's pretty simple. It's harder than regular Insanity, but I mean, that's about it. It's definitely one of the easier bosses, and the one-shot gimmick isn't actually that hard once you know what to do. It's just annoying.